What happens when an underdog refuses to believe the odds? When a man, overlooked and underestimated, steps into the cage and rewrites history. That's the story of Rashad Evans, one of the most explosive and charismatic fighters the UFC has ever seen. From humble beginnings in upstate New York to becoming a UFC light heavyweight champion, Evans' journey is about grit, resilience, and the courage to prove everyone wrong. Early life and background. Rashad Anton Evans was born on September 25, 1979, in Niagara Falls, New York. Growing up in a tough neighborhood, life wasn't always easy. He was the second youngest of 7 siblings, and the challenges of his environment forced him to mature quickly. As a child, Rashad wasn't destined for sports stardom. He wasn't the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest, but what he had was heart. He was competitive, resilient, and willing to put in the work. Those qualities would later define his career. Discovering wrestling, Rashad's journey into combat sports began on the wrestling mats of Niagara Wheatfield High School. Wrestling gave him discipline, structure, and an outlet for his natural competitiveness. He excelled quickly, becoming a state champion, and that success earned him a spot in college wrestling. He first attended Niagara County Community College, where he became a National Junior College Athletic Association champion. Later, he transferred to Michigan State University, where he competed at the NCAA Division I level. Wrestling against some of the toughest athletes in the country, Rashad sharpened his skills and toughened his mindset. While he wasn't a national champion at Michigan State, his relentless style and never-quit attitude caught attention. Wrestling gave him the foundation in grappling and conditioning that would later make him a force in mixed martial arts. The leap into MMA. After college, Rashad's competitive fire still burned. He saw MMA as an opportunity to test himself in a new arena. At the time, the UFC wasn't the global powerhouse it is today, but it was rapidly growing. Evans began training in mixed martial arts, and his wrestling background gave him a strong base. But what surprised people most was how quickly he adapted to striking and submissions. Unlike many pure wrestlers, Rashad didn't just rely on takedowns. He became a versatile fighter. The Ultimate Fighter breakthrough moment. Rashad Evans' big break came in 2005 when he entered the reality show The Ultimate Fighter 2. Competing as a heavyweight despite being undersized for the division, Evans wasn't expected to win, but time and again, he proved doubters wrong. Throughout the season, Rashad showcased his wrestling, his speed, and above all, his determination. He fought with a chip on his shoulder, and that hunger carried him all the way to the finale. In the championship fight, he faced Brad Ives, a much larger opponent. But Evans used his superior technique and conditioning to grind out a victory, becoming the Ultimate Fighter 2 heavyweight tournament champion. This victory didn't just earn him a UFC contract. It announced to the world that Rashad Evans was here to stay, building his UFC career. After The Ultimate Fighter, Rashad dropped down to the light heavyweight division, where he was better suited physically. From there, his UFC career skyrocketed. Evans piled up wins against solid competition, using his wrestling base combined with rapidly improving striking. His ability to mix takedowns with sharp punches and kicks made him a difficult puzzle for opponents to solve. One of his most memorable early victories came in 2007 when he delivered a jaw-dropping head kick knockout against Sean Salmon. It was a highlight reel moment that showed the world Rashad wasn't just a wrestler, he was a complete mixed martial artist. Climbing to the top, Rashad's confidence grew with every fight. He defeated respected names like Michael Bisping, Chuck Liddell, and Forrest Griffin. Each win built his reputation as a serious contender. The fight against Chuck Liddell in 2008 was a turning point. Liddell was a UFC legend, a feared knockout artist. Many believed Evans didn't stand a chance, but Rashad shocked the MMA world by delivering a brutal knockout in the second round, cementing his status as a top light heavyweight. That victory earned him a title shot against Forrest Griffin at UFC 92, becoming champion. On December 27, 2008, Rashad Evans stepped into the octagon to face Forrest Griffin for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. The fight was competitive early, with Griffin landing strikes and using his size. But Evans remained patient, waiting for his moment. In the third round, Rashad unleashed his power, knocking Griffin down with a right hand and finishing the fight with vicious ground and pound. Just like that, Rashad Evans was crowned the UFC light heavyweight champion. From undersized underdog on The Ultimate Fighter to world champion, it was the ultimate validation of his journey. Rivalries and title defense being champion came with new challenges. Evans' first title defense was set against Lyoto Machida in 2009. Machida's elusive karate style was a nightmare for opponents, and Rashad struggled to find his rhythm. In the second round, Machida landed a devastating knockout, ending Evans' reign as champion. Though he lost the belt, Evans remained a top contender. He entered rivalries with fighters like Quinton Rampage, Jackson, and John Jones. His feud with Rampage was particularly heated, filled with trash talk and personal tension, leading to one of the most highly anticipated fights in UFC history. Evans won the bout by decision, proving his resilience and ability to bounce back. His fight with John Jones in 2012 was another defining moment. Evans had once trained alongside Jones, but the two became bitter rivals. Though Evans fought bravely, Jones's unorthodox style and reach were too much, and Evans lost by unanimous decision. Still, he showed the heart of a warrior against one of the greatest fighters of all time. The later career and retirement. As the years went on, injuries began to take their toll. Rashad battled knee problems and setbacks that kept him out of the cage for long stretches. His speed and explosiveness, once his greatest assets, began to fade with age. He continued to compete, but the wins became harder to come by. After a string of losses, Evans announced his retirement from MMA in 2018. His final record stood at 19 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw. An impressive career that included wins over legends and a championship reign. Life beyond fighting retirement didn't mean the end of Rashad's influence. He transitioned into broadcasting, becoming an analyst for the UFC. His insight, charisma, and experience made him a natural on camera, where he shared his knowledge with fans around the world. Evans also dedicated himself to coaching and mentoring young fighters, passing on the lessons he had learned from his own journey. His impact on the next generation of athletes has been just as meaningful as his own fights. Legacy and recognition. In 2019, Rashad Evans was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, a fitting recognition for his contributions to the sport. His legacy isn't just about the championship belt or the highlight reel knockouts. It's about the journey from a small town in New York through the grind of wrestling to the biggest stages of MMA. Evans showed that heart, determination, and belief can carry you further than talent alone. He will always be remembered as one of the pioneers of modern MMA, a fighter who could do it all and who inspired countless others to chase their dreams. Rashad Evans' story is more than just a tale of punches and kicks. It's about resilience. It's about a man who came from humble beginnings, believed in himself when few others did, and rose to the very top of the fight game. From The Ultimate Fighter, underdog, to UFC champion, to Hall of Famer, Rashad Evans proved that with determination, anything is possible. And that is why his name will forever be etched in the history of mixed martial arts.